So welcome to Learning Crypto. Okay, if you're new around here, this is a free version of what we do on the premium platform. Links below. Anyways, we've been warning you for a while, certainly I have, in terms of how this is kind of happening, how we've kind of been playing out. You know, dollar is still strong, the market needs time to relax, all kinds of stuff, right? The coin toss. That was an interesting scenario, actually. And then obviously you've got the YouTube algorithm, the NASDAQ looks terrible. We utilize a lot of the traditional markets on here to kind of get a basis of what's happening. And right now we're seeing it's weak as hell. And then obviously you got S&P 500, ROPE, 5-point base hike, 50-point base hike, sorry. All kinds of stuff. It's interesting. And we need to talk about what is in the title. And I'm going to go over first the total market cap once I've gone over this. These futures are looking really, really ropey right now. Already on a Monday morning, it's 9:35 UK time. As I speak, we are low. That is, I don't recall, it's been a while anyways, a futures this bad on a morning. And this is the biggest problem. That is bad on a Monday morning. Usually it's a little bit, usually it is on the Dow Jones at least double digits. It usually is. Not 458 points. That's a lot. The fact that the percentages levels are going higher on the S&P and the NASDAQ is also a telling sign of what's to come today. So let's talk about this, right? First bit of analysis, I want to talk about the total market cap. Now, I know it's a bit messy, but we are kind of going to a point where it's a fib within a fib, right? So we've got the overall structure, boom, right to the 382. Swing high to the swing low. And we've also had a correction within the daily time frame. So if I just, move this out of the way a little bit so you can see it, there we go. We've had this impulse, we're pulled up into this point, and now we're going to this level. We are hitting a very key target level, in my opinion. Now, the question is, and the title of this video is it the time to buy the dip? Now, I'm going to say one of two answers. Answer A is yes. Answer B is only if you have profit and you sold much higher and you are willing to just accumulate units and not worry about the price. That is the ultimate thing here. Now, on my personal Twitter this morning, I've tweeted saying, do not worry about the price, worry about the unit sort of thing, right? It's words to that effect. And this has been something that I have been working out and looking at for the last few weeks now of this play now. And this is a critical level of the entire market cap, which is important, right? So we are seeing much bigger, more savage losses in the total 2 and the total market, total 3, because obviously this includes BTC. Bitcoin doesn't drop as much as the other things. You can see that it's very, very clear and reflective. However, as I say, and I don't want to repeat myself too much, if you, let's just say Luna or Link, whatever, and you sold that much higher at near peak points or even like a Polkadot, whatever, you could get a nice accumulation. Now that is the ultimate goal here. You should be focusing on how many units you can get for the fair value for the long term. If you are still bullish on crypto and the network effect of crypto, you shouldn't be worrying at all. Realistically, you should be educating yourself. You should be learning how to get better and how to get those dollar cost averages down. And I know it's hard looking elsewhere, i.e. not looking at your dollar value. Let's look at BTC. Now, the reason why I say you can probably buy the dip a little bit, yes, you can. However, that being said, I wouldn't blow your load. So if you are thinking, right, I'm new to the market, I've not put capital in for a while, these are good opportunities. Yeah, they quite well be very, very good opportunities. But also it could go lower, and that is the biggest thing in the back of my mind, right? There's a lot of things that I love. I'm going to be building a nice little watch list. I'm really excited to do so. I love these market conditions. I always have. Now, this is the thing. If we lose 30k, and this is where I'm going to be a bit of a bear, we've got a bit of a gap here. Let's be fair here. This is a big gap to fall into. It's a big swimming pool, right? It's going to get very, 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 very wet very, very quickly. That is, in my eyes, a problem, and this is why I'm thinking, right, if you know risk management, if you know that you've taken profit much higher and you've got money to play with, there's nothing wrong putting a little percentage in there, here and there, and just dollar cost averaging. But if I was to say, right, we're going to go up from this point or whatever it may be, you know, you're going to blow your load and you think this is the last dip to last all dip sort of thing. It's very risky because that is a very, very unknown territory. This is what I'm talking about, psychological stuff. A lot of people on Twitter will be boasting at the bottom when it starts going green again, because we are going to bounce, boys and girls. You know that at some point, whether it's today, whether it's tomorrow, whether it's Wednesday, whenever, right? We're going to bounce. There will be people that be like, I bought this bottom dip. Now, some stuff does look attractive to me to put a little, maybe 10% here and there of stuff I've got allocated for it, because ultimately they're units, they're extra units from much higher. So it's always worth looking at that and thinking, right, if that does happen and that bounce does come, and let's just say if it is a significant bounce, guess what you can do with it? Well, you can sell it. You can get some profit out of that and then maybe reaccumulate more. At the end of the day, the golden rule is, and the rule that I always teach is, you should always have something in the market. Don't be all in, don't be all out, right? But always have something to put in the market if and when the time is right. Now, we might be looking at KSM under $100 soon. We're already looking at a single-digit link, which is madness. Obviously, double-digit Litecoin. All these coins were much, much higher not too long ago. And for some people, the temptation is going to be hard. But let's just talk about the long-term kind of narrative here. What if, right, we do lose that level and we do fall down to 23k, for example? You know, I'm not just going to say that's going to happen, but it could happen. That's the point. It's a game of probability. Would you be happy knowing that you've went and spunked your entire load here, or you could have waited and done a little bit here and a little bit there? You're better off hedging your bet a little bit. Now, obviously, bearish targets may never come in, but there's nothing worse than you going all in on here and then it actually does trickle down lower, because there will be further opportunities. There's a lot of opportunities down here as it dribbles down. It may not even hit here. You just don't know. That's the thing. So don't be that person that's going to wait for the absolute bottom. Now, some people will be waiting for 10k for Bitcoin. That's fair enough. How much risk reward do you want to achieve? What is the aim of the game? Do you want to get life-changing gains elsewhere? And I would recommend altcoins on some of the altcoins anyways. Now, let's just talk about this as well, the flip. If the market does reverse, right, for obvious reasons, it probably will at some point. It will have a bit of a bullish trend somewhere. Don't know where. It will. The altcoins will not give you a, much FOMO too quickly. It won't, because this will change direction. It'll start to show a trend. These will still be at low, low, low prices. These won't just be up to the moon. So there'll be a huge amount of money to be made. Now, let's look at FMT, for example. All the analysis, melted right the way through it. Now, when we're talking about going up to all-time high, as an example here, that already is a 5x gain. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen, but what I'm trying to say here is you've got a lot of percentage gains up in this gap here. And if BTC does start to rally and start to turn around, there's opportunity here to make more money, right? In nearly everything. That's just continuously melting. That's going to go somewhere. Look at that. Looks beautiful. But you can see the picture, right? There's a lot of things that look really awesome and that I personally want to buy. But for the overall bias of the market, it's the BTC price, the NASDAQ price, the dollar index unit price, or unit strength, sorry, and everything else to go with it is what is making me think, if this is a bear market, I want to keep as much capital as possible for survival. Because the thing and the biggest test with a bear market is you will think that the dip has stopped and it's going to continue going bullish, because everyone will flip bullish very quickly. You've got to look at these higher time frames. These higher time frames will save you a lot of money. We have formed a very clear lower high, right? If these targets are to be realized, whether we do go back down to these conditions, which would be madness, by the way, just going to put that point out there, it'll be very, very interesting to see who survives. If we go down here, this could be an unbelievable dipping point for the entire market, and we could be at some really key levels. Now, let's go back to that total market cap. I believe if we go down to 23k, we're going to be sitting at roughly here, or maybe a little bit lower, probably in between these two. That could be a monstrous, monstrous opportunity But that being said, this is where the game is. Are we going to get there? Are you going to be prepared if we do get there? What happens if we don't? You've got to remember, if you understand how trends work and how dips work, you should be fine. However, to the people that don't have profit right now, and you've maybe dropped the ball somewhere, you've got to wait for that relief bounce and see if you can pull something out of the market. But for me, the profit has been already on the table and you should have taken a lot of it off. So, bit of a dark ending to that one, but harsh reality of the market. You know, the old saying of, impatient to the patient or whatever, those hands, that rotation of that handshake is hugely important.